Hi everyone. My name is Maida from The Shared Edge, and over there is Sincere from Sunsea Air Well. Thanks so much for
One.
joining us in our weekly energetic scrub each week, or roughly every week. We work with astrology, sound, meditation, contemplation, discussion, Reiki to just move inwards to sort of see what's stuck in our systems, what we can get rid of, what we can enhance. And each week we have a different focus. Today, Sincere will take us through what's happening energetically, and then we'll move into about a 5 to 10 minute sound meditation, and then we'll have a little discussion afterwards. So let's hear what Sincere has for us today.
Thank you, Maida. Hi, everyone. So we're not going to do the usual astrological thing that's happening this week. We're actually going to talk a little bit more about the what's happening seasonally, because the big thing that's going on right now is the winter solstice. And while winter is a time that people usually want to, hide, it's actually what it's for. Actually, that's a good thing because it's about hibernating. Just like the mighty bear, we hibernate, okay? We go within. And so while people tend to avoid the winter because of the darkness and they avoid it because of the cold, it actually has its purpose in our lives. And again, hibernating and going within and reflecting is an excellent way to just get clear on what it is that you want to have moving forward. What do you want to call forth in the new Gregorian New Year? What do you need to let go of that happened in 2020? I'm sorry, 2022.
And 2020,
So I was just thinking too, I was like, yeah, and 2020,
all those
all the
years.
years, all the years. So so this is just a great time for us to embrace that darkness and, going within to find that inner light, the thing that is going to guide us, because you have to embrace the darkness. You just have to do it. I mean, is darkness has a negative connotation. I can go on about where that comes from, the whole colonization thing or whatever. But darkness is something that we need to go into. And when I say darkness, I mean something that's not in the light at this point. So it's just bringing whatever is in the shadows into the light. And the more you accept it and integrate it, the more whole we are and the more we can flow and be in alignment with what we are desiring in our lives. So that's what winter means to me. And it also, just so you know, too, in Native American cultures, I don't know if it's all of them, but I know in Native American cultures in general, winter is a time of, endings. It's a time of ancestors. It's a time of wisdom and knowledge. So again, let's embrace this time and just use it to help us flow.
Beautiful.
And Might is going to help us flow. Great segue, right? Might is going to help us flow with her bowl magic.
um, awesome. Yeah. So I am also one of those people that is like, oh, winter. But I've
Yeah,
been learning. I've been learning, right, to embrace what winter does give us. So we're gonna
I'm
work with.
actually the opposite.
Oh,
I, I
really?
I actually think I hibernate a little bit in the summer because I cannot with the heat and the humidity. It doesn't work with me at all. So I appreciate summer,
Yeah.
but yeah, I tend to stay inside a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we all have our seasons, I suppose, right?
exactly.
And
It's
hopefully
true.
within each season we can find some kind of footing and growth. So if winter is not your season, I hear you. But again, it is that time where we can really use it to its advantage or find an advantage within it.
Exactly.
So we'll do a little sound work, a little Reiki. If you have headphones, again, we encourage them, but they're not required by any means. It'll be about 5, 10 minutes. We'll say 8 minutes, as I always kind of try to veer within that time frame. So just if you can't now, maybe you pause it and come back when you have the chance, but allow yourself to just nestle. Get comfortable. You don't have to be seated. It's definitely we want to bring our body like you would hibernate, right? Like move into kind of a nestled state, so where you feel safe, where you feel warm, where you feel secure for the next 10 minutes or so. So find that spot in your house or wherever you are. And then when you're ready, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose and release it slowly through the mouth. Feel free to do a couple more if you'd like. With each exhale, just let yourself get a little bit more deeply into your nest. Like you feel that you're burrowing into the ground. Or that the ground is burrowing into you. Feel yourself held, safe, and warm. Just allow yourself to drop down deep. Away from the busyness of the world, both the external world but also the internal world. Away from the thoughtscape that we typically inhabit. Away from the to-do lists and the plans. relax your belly entirely and feel the breath expand around this flame, feeling your whole body encased in warmth with each breath. Perhaps you feel or sense the light get even bigger so that it surrounds you. Or perhaps you hold it close. Either way, just keeping the light near you, as it always is. Take a deep breath, and when you're ready, you can gently let your eyes float open.
Wow. I went in, Mida. That's what this was about. So yeah, so now my turn to say what came up. So the first thing that showed itself was a clown, and it wasn't exactly a happy clown. It was like Poltergeist clown.
Oh no,
You know, anyone ever saw that movie? Huh?
the creepy ones?
Yes, exactly. And at first, I'm just like, okay, what is that all about? And then it occurred to me that I think it has to do with facing that, like facing it in the dark. Even when you think about that whole poltergeist scene where the kid was like sleeping in the bed and it was dark and he was like freaking, he was like, scared because the thing was sitting in the corner and then eventually it just jumped on him at some point. So it's about facing that darkness, I think. It's like facing the scary because I don't know, clowns have like, the clowns are known to be happy. So there's happiness on the other side of that, if that makes any sense. I just, because I also saw a little girl with braids and it just reminded me, she had a balloon and it just reminded me of that, scene of, almost like circus in a way. Not that I'm a fan of circuses, but you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm putting down.
Well, also, can
And
I interject for a second? It's
of
interesting
course.
because I think a lot of us too have difficulty being in that light. Like when we get close to it, it's like we're afraid of that childlike nature in ourselves, that
Hmm.
was so kind of innocent and open, and there's almost that too.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it definitely made me think of because I saw the little girl separately from the clown. I actually saw it almost at the end. The clown was at the beginning and the little girl was at the end. And then that's when I started thinking, I was like, oh, I think it has something to do with inner child stuff too. Like maybe the collective is afraid of some things that happened back when they were kids. I mean, that's when all the conditioning happened. So we definitely need to go back there and kind of just look and see how things started. Like, why are we doing the things that we're doing now? What's stopping us? And 9 times out of 10, it comes from something that happened in childhood, probably. So totally makes sense. And then, I saw a clock, and especially when you were doing the ding, 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 immediately I saw this. It looked like a church, almost like a castle or something. And there was a big yellow clock in the middle of it. And so that made me think it's time, like time to rest. It's just time to go with it. Something about, I don't know if it's just what we talked about with winter being the end. So it's just time to reflect, that kind of thing. I also saw Radiator, which was the random thing that because there's always some random thing for those of you who don't know, and it immediately made me think of warmth. Keeping yourself warm during this time. There was a wolf again. We saw a wolf last time, and the wolf does have something to do with going inward and trusting your intuition. I also saw, what does this say? Oh, okay. So I saw a lot of this scene kept coming up and it almost like wouldn't go away. It looked like it was a log cabin in Vermont or something, or Colorado or somewhere just very snowy. And there was a lot of snow. And it was nighttime and there was a light inside the house. It was almost like a flame that was keeping the house lit. And so I really thought that was metaphorical in the sense of the whole winter thing about peace. And because when it snows outside, it's very peaceful and very quiet. And so it's also about solitude, like taking some time to go within and not be bothered with all the other stuff that's going on right now. And knowing that there's always that inner flame in there once you go in, it's just like I said, the scene just wouldn't go away. So there's an inner flame that we all have. And I felt like the house was representative of ourselves, our bodies. And a lot of times houses usually do represent that. And yeah, so it looked like a ski lodge to me. I just wrote that in there. And a giraffe, which is really kind of random too, especially when you think of the winter scene. But giraffes have to do with seeing things from a higher perspective. So again, looking at winter is not just this cold, dark thing that you have to hurry up and get through. It's also, if you look at it from a larger perspective, it can actually be really helpful and beneficial to our cycles of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a rainbow too, which I thought was very nice, especially considering all the lack of color that you see in the wintertime. There was a turtle. Turtles are reminiscent of ancestors and also reminiscent of slowing down. So, also themes that we talked about. And that was pretty much it. So, unlike last time, this wasn't as random. This definitely stayed on theme. Oh, and I did see a bear too. Um, I wasn't sure if that was me because I brought it up, but nonetheless, it makes sense to see a bear,
Yeah.
in that ski lodge environment or whatever. So, yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah, and if any of you ever have any experiences, it can be anything, right? It can be imagery, it can be a physical sensation or a thought. Feel free to share them with us in the
Please.
comments. We do look at them and we do respond. So it might take us a minute, but we promise. Or you can always reach out to us directly on both of our profiles. Have links to how to find us. We're also with Minka, Brooklyn, and their roster of amazing practitioners as well. So you can find us there. You can find us on a retreat coming up in March if you want to join us, where we do this sort of deep dive using these elements that we've worked with today. Also yoga, also activities. Like it'll be really, really great.
If you
That'll
want
be
to get out of the cold,
yeah, they.
March. Yep.
When you're like, okay, winter, yeah, we're done. Yeah, we went in and now it's time to get out.
Exactly.
Please join us. There's more information on both of our sort of respective sites. But yeah, keep scrubbing, keep going in. There is light at the end of the tunnel, even if it feels pretty dark, metaphorically or uh, realistically. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, so trust that it's guiding you forward. And yeah, I guess that's it.
Awesome. I did want to mention too that we do have an ebook that if you'd like to sign up for updates, please, you get the ebook automatically. So please do. And it's on manifesting using the elements featuring the ether element. So it's a great way to get started on your whole new year, new you manifesting journey. So by all means, sign up.
Yeah, awesome. All right.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
Thanks,
and
everybody.
soon.
See you next time. Toots.